Welcome back to Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Today we're looking at this car. You may have seen it in the previous episode sitting in the garage. It is the 1969 Salem Spectre Fastback ZZ version. Now we have done standard version as a factory rebuild. Had a slightly different engine. This has a V8 0HV engine. The previous one had a V8 2-carb engine, but we'll compare the times on the leaderboards later. This car we bought from the auction for a grand total of £2,792. It seemed like one hell of a deal at the time, but unfortunately, having a closer look at this car, the deal probably was a little bit too good to be true. We'll get more into that once we start doing the engine and taking the engine apart, and I'll explain why. But there's no oil, that's not much of a surprise. So we'll start as always, take the engine out and go from there. Now, looking at the state of it, you can see it's not in a good state of repair, is it? But it's how much can we salvage, how much can we save? That's the big question. And if you can hazard a guess at why the price wasn't a good price, you'll find out very, very soon why that was. But here we are. I thought for a car under £3,000, 1969, it's probably a good offer. But there we go. You live and learn. Interestingly, how we've done a previous Salem Spectre Fastback but standard. Different engine, like I say. Very interesting times when you compare them on the leaderboards as well. We'll get into that a little bit later as well. But means we do know the car to a degree. Not that that's going to help us, I don't think. Okay, so all the underwork is done. We can now take the engine out. We do need to check if there's any liquids in the car, just in case. Still trying to avoid any fines where possible. Let's have a look. They do look empty. Just in case, we probably should check. No, wrong one. Where's the wrong button? There we go. Will there be anything inside? A tiny bit. I'm glad we did it. At least we're not going to get fined for that tiny little bit of water in there. Well, that was a window washer, to be fair. That wasn't water, that's window washer. This is water, the radiator cap. Anything? Yeah, okay, we would have got a fine for that, so I'm glad we had a look. We know there's no oil, we've done that. And now the brake fluid. And we'll have to take all these out anyway to replace them. They're perishable, so they're not going to last anyway, so we will have to do that. So, I think that is everything disconnected. Let's take this out. And we'll head over to the workshop, where we can start taking this engine apart. And then I'll let you know the good news once we've taken it all apart. So here we are. Let's start taking this thing apart and see what we've got left come the end of it. So that is the engine nearly all taken apart. Now, if you've kept your eyes open and seen the percentages coming off this engine, you may have noticed they're all red. And as we go and fix everything, we find we can't. There is nothing on this engine that can be fixed. We all need to replace by new, which means from the warehouse or buy it brand new. So unfortunately, that's what we've had to do. That's going to affect our profit margin massively. But we'll put it all back together and hopefully some of the suspension can be saved. And there's the engine nearly done. Last little bits going on. We've just got the air filter going on now and the cover. And we'll have a proper look at what this engine should have looked like when we took it out of the car. Almost forgot to do the ignition. Distributor rotor and the ignition cap. There we go. And the wires that go with it. Without those the car wouldn't even start. And we've got the clips. These lovely, lovely clips. Even they couldn't be fixed. They were so far gone. I'm starting to regret paying less than £3,000 for a car currently. I think the cars in the scrapyard you get are in a better condition sometimes. So I am currently regretting this decision. But it's done now. I think that looks nice. When it's all said and done, it is a very nice looking engine. I think we've done a good job. It's nice to see it shiny once more. Okay. Now, let's head to the car and take away all the suspension. So we'll strip everything down and then we'll come and speak to you once it's done. So whilst we're doing the suspension, I thought we might as well take out everything from the engine bay as well. That made perfect sense to do it at the same time. So that's what we've done. There is nothing left in the whole of the car now, bar the bodywork, which we'll have a look at now. Let's try and take the bodywork off There's nothing to take off there. We did take the bonnet off before we started, admittedly. Nothing off the back. No light. Ah, there's a light there. Tail light. There we go. No rear bumper. We've got the rear window. Left door. We can take that off. Is there anything else? Doesn't look as many parts of the car. That's not going to help us, is it? Oh, we've got a front left headlight as well. And while we're here, let's weld it. And this will make the car look 10 times better in one go. I do like welding a car. There's so much satisfaction after you've welded it. There we go. Now that looks a lot better than it did. So we're going to go off, fix everything, and we'll be back to put it all back together. So pretty much like the engine. Unfortunately, there was nothing we could fix. Everything is brand new. From the warehouse, we've had to buy it from the shop. This deal of a car has turned into a little bit of a money pit. But we'll see how all the numbers work out when we finish. Okay, last liquid's going in. Now we just need to do all the bodywork. We'll do the internals first. We haven't bought the seats or anything yet, so let's have a look in there. Add them to our shopping list. We'll go and quickly buy the seats while we're here. Bodywork again, similar to the rest of the car. I think we could fix the bonnet and that was it. Everything else needed new, if I remember correctly. We'll find out for definite in a second. But yeah, I think we've learnt a lesson. If you're going to go to an auction and spend less than £3,000 on a car, don't expect it to be roadworthy, would be my bit of advice at this point. A car that should have yielded a decent profit, I think, has turned into a bit of a money pit, but we could still make a decent amount of money out of it. We have got a lot of warehouse parts, or I say that, we did have a lot of warehouse parts. We don't anymore, admittedly, so hopefully we can still make some money. Now I'm just looking, the reason I'm looking for license plates. I couldn't remember if I'd added them to our list to buy. I don't think I have. I think that's one thing we missed off on the body. Let's do the internal seats first. And we may have to purchase license plates. I think I did forget. So back seats going in. Passenger seat and then the driver's seat. And then we've got a lovely steering wheel to go on as well. We always do the standard ones that are for that car. We don't try and mess around with different seats and stuff. Okay, now we can try and put bodywork on. As I say, I think I'm missing the license plates, are we? Yes, okay. So it's the ones in the car I didn't have, so I forgot to buy them. Because I wasn't sure which ones they were. I don't know if it matters if you put different license plates on different cars, I'm not sure. But there we go, we try and keep it as standard. So Macedonia. Now we need to put the rest of the bodywork back on. Now you may have noticed we could have fixed the bonnet, but I bought a new one. I think I just assumed we couldn't, so I just bought everything. We did have some stuff in the warehouse as well, to be fair, as you can see by the purple, pinky, lilac kind of colour on the left wing. It's a warehouse one. You can always tell when it's warehouse because they're random colours. Okay. Did I not get... I couldn't get it to activate. There we go. Wing mirror going on. Rear window. We have the trunk as well. That wasn't there originally. It's a brand new trunk. Tail lights have got to be brand new. Bumper's brand new as well. License plate is right down the bottom there. It didn't work for some reason. Let's try that again. I've taken it off. Not sure what was going on there. Just wouldn't let me do it. There we go. The other tail light is now on. We've got a door to do. And a window. And a side mirror. There we go. So that is the Salem Spectre Fastback ZZ rebuilt. So as usual, we're going to go off, do our little things, align the lights, the wheels, all that good stuff. And we'll come back and show you what we've done with the paint job. And here we are. It stands out, doesn't it? Now, this was my choice. I know my little boy's been picking some of the colours, but this one was my choice. I wanted it to stand out. I like the livery on the back, on the wings. I really like that. I think it looks nice. Let me know what you think. But I do like the livery saying Fastback on the back. The inside is really clean and nice as well. Right, on to our fast lap. This was our third lap of the day. As you can see, our standing start was a 1:57. Our second lap was slow. We made a few mistakes. That was a 1:59. What can we do on our fastest lap of the 5? The other 2 laps after this one were horrendous. The car itself is very slow at accelerating, but it handles fairly well for a car this age, to be fair. It's just the handling's not, the acceleration is not quick. That's the problem, but handling is good. It's doing well so far. It's not tail happy. It does stick to the track pretty nicely. Again, you do have to be a little bit careful trying to straighten up while you're accelerating. It can get a bit twitchy, but all in all, not too bad. Braking a little bit early for this corner, only because the brakes aren't brilliant. We had no choice but to brake early there. Going around nicely. Braking heavily again. Long left-hander this one. And again, it's not too bad. Just going to be very careful with the throttle. I did learn feathering the throttle does help. We did go a bit over around that corner there, a bit too deep. But we're okay. With a couple of corners to go, we will start on a lap time early because I want to compare it to the previous car we did. So we're going to end this lap with a 150.244, which is 6th on the leaderboard. It's not brilliant. It didn't knock it out of the park. But interestingly, the standard version of the Salem Spectre Fastback is beaten by just under 5 seconds, but it has a V8 2-carb engine in it. This only has a V8 0HP engine. So it's quite interesting that this car, the ZZ version, beats the standard, yet the standard version had a bigger engine. And we're going to compare the two on this one as well. So this is top speed. Again, I did say it was pretty slow at accelerating, but we have a bit longer to try and get up to that top speed with this track, as we are hitting 200 kilometers per hour already. Doesn't seem that slow now, but on the racetrack it seems really slow to get up to speed. And as we're kind of hitting our limit, nearly the end of the track, I will spoil what you're about to see, only because I want to talk about something else quickly. We're going to hit 246 kilometers per hour, which is 152.857 miles per hour. That's 4th on the leaderboard and beats the standard version of the V8 2-carb engine by 17 kilometers per hour. That is an incredible difference between the ZZ and the V8 2-carb standard version. Now the V8 2-carb, I would have assumed to smoke this every day of the week, but it was nowhere near it. So we're going to have something to look at going forward with the different versions of cars. So, numbers-wise, we spent £23,984 fixing this up. If we add that to the £2,792 we spent buying this, it cost us £26,776 to finish and get back to factory standard. We sell this, or selling this, for £68,762. That's a profit of £41,986. That's still a decent profit. Our average profit now is around 40 to 50,000 for every car, near enough. So although it cost us a lot to fix because we couldn't fix any parts, we gained a lot of scrap, admittedly. It's not a bad profit to be made. I was thinking it'd be a lot worse. But that's it for this episode. Thank you for joining us. If you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe, and a like on the videos does really help. Next episode, we're going to be looking at the Picani DLC.